Hi, salut! Let's make some rocks today. Here is the result. It's obviously stylized. Depending on the settings, you can make it look like a soft surface or a more complex one. I think in this work there are the main characteristics of the stylized art style. Light, almost white edges, an exaggerated ambient occlusion, clean cuts, and overall a piece that's easy to understand and to grasp. A little bit cartoony maybe, and fun and easy to look at. Okay, now the reference. I'd like to make a small mouse scene with a ground, the cliff, some stones and pebbles, and rover tracks. That's the goal. But in this video, we'll only focus on the cliff material, of course. Some of my reference on ArtStation are very detailed, like this one. Others are more simple. I try to aim for something in between. Something like this would be cool. I like when there are details in the color path also, but ultimately the best reference that I got came from a new tutorial by Daniel Tiger, his rock creation techniques. I highly recommend it to you. He has some simple setups yet very powerful ones. So I used some of his techniques as a starter and then did my own thing. So here in Substance Designer, you first have to plug all that you need: gradient map, normal, an auto levels for the height, and a HBAO node for the ambient occlusion. This Berlin noise is the central piece of the texture. It will be used by several tile samplers. So let's make our first one. And connect it to a blend node, which will serve as the main connection hub with the outputs. Here I'm just trying to find an interesting layout for the main rocks. Of course, the position random setting is probably the most important one, as well as the X environment and the scale. Now, what I want to do is to duplicate this tile sampler and use it with the min darken blend to come and break some parts of the cliff in a very clean manner. That's what I like about the min darken blend. It really gives you very sharp and clean cuts. I spent a good deal of time working with the scale options also. And don't forget the invert grayscale, because we need black areas to work with the min darken. This way we can really sculpt the cliff. The directional warp is just an option. In a stylized piece, offering you the possibility of deforming specific shapes is always a plus. In this case, I'm just trying to break the oval shapes a little that serve for the sculpt. Then it's time for another blend, because I want to make a cracks pass, a very simple one as you're about to see. I'm just using another tile sampler with a lower scale, and the cracks will come from a slope blur with a crystal as a slope. That gives us nice and clear breaks that will be subtracted from the cliff. And that's it for our details pass. Now let's move on to the colors. For the color, the same technique as usual, a uniform color node which is blended with the details pass and a multiply mode. That way you can easily change the color in the generator. Here I'm using the ambient occlusion to bring more details. It's acceptable in a stylized piece, but you shouldn't do that in a realistic work. This pass with the cover to smooth is also good and interesting to bring the light edges that I talked about in the intro. And here I'm making a more textured pass, which will only be in the base color map. Could be like a dust or dirt addition. In the end, I'm just hoping to give the cliff some style with this. I don't want it to be too clean or too simple. The DT directional warp is nice to make the input more grungy. Here, by playing with the levels node, it's level in mid setting exactly. You can really change the look of the piece from soft to darker, stronger rocks. And from now on until the end of the video, I just change some details and try to find the look that I'm after. Now consider that the main graph is done. Now it's time to play with the settings. And it's up to you to find the look and the style that you like. Thank you for watching and see you next week for a quick tutorial about high quality renderings with Marmoset Tool by 3. Bye bye!